All right, guys, so looking like you're gonna get 2 videos in a row this weekend, because we're gonna try again letting the young birds out. We're gonna do the same thing we did yesterday. I'm hoping it works well. The one that was missing, I saw yesterday evening around 4:30. I came outside just to look, and I saw it fly over and right over the house and over the yard. And I ran and got the can. I started shaking it. I started whistling, and it turned around and flew over again. And then I lost sight of it behind one of the neighbors' houses, and I don't know where it went after that. But I guess that's encouraging that it flew over. Fortunately, I was outside, so I got to shake the can and whistle. So it heard me, and it seemed to have responded when it turned around. Still was afraid to land. I'm hoping that it found the place overnight to nestle down and made it through the night, didn't get picked off by any predators, and maybe today it'll come back. I mean, you know, the chances are going down. The longer it goes, the chances get slimmer and slimmer, but, you know, you never say never. It's only been one night. It was the blue bar, like a smoky blue bar, so if it found a great roof to tuck itself into, it should have blended in all right with its surroundings, and maybe it was a little camouflaged, and hopefully it comes back. But so today we're going to try again. We're going to do the same thing we did yesterday. I moved the table a little farther away, maybe another 5 or 6 feet. I'm a little more encouraged today with the birds that came back yesterday. Their homing instincts are obviously okay, and They knew what to do and where to go and how to come in to eat, and 5 of the 7 didn't waste any time. My blue check with white flights wasted a lot of time, but that bird I'm actually now the least concerned about. I was very concerned about it yesterday, but now I'm not. That bird flew around my neighborhood probably 19 times. It would go out of sight for 20 minutes and then zip by the house and then turn around and zip back the other way. And the one thing I will say is, in the moment, I didn't really think about it, but after I got all the birds back in and I started to think about it a little more and, you know, use it as a learning experience and try to pick up on signs of what the birds did and put some patterns together, which as a fisherman, I love to do. I'm always looking at it as a puzzle and trying to put the pieces together, and thinking about it a little more, that blue check with the white flights, in comparison with the blue bar, the one with the white flights seemed in much more of control of what it was doing. It seemed like this stuff was almost purposeful, and the bird knew where it was and what it was doing the whole time. When I first let it out, and it flew to the landing platform, and it landed. I reviewed the video to see what happened, what bird did what, and that bird was one of the first ones to fly over and land on the landing platform. And then when the blue bar came to fly over and took its approach a little too high and wasn't sure what to do, the blue check then flew up and flew around, and it went 2 houses down behind me and landed on my neighbor's roof. And it stood at the peak of the roof, that house is much higher than mine. It just looked around for a while, maybe 10 minutes. It just looked around. It was looking at me. It was just observing. And then it flew, and it was flying around and flying around and flying around. And then it went, I counted, it was 3 houses the other direction, and it landed on the roof. And it was looking around and looking around and looking around. And then it flew across, and then it went all the way around. I could see it darting behind the trees, and then it flew over my house. And then it made another turn, and it went and it flew back that way. And it was just zipping around. So it landed on a couple of roofs. It got the lay of the land, it was looking like. It was really looking around and seeing everything. And then it was just zipping and zipping and zipping. And then I lost him for another 20-25 minutes. I don't know where it went. And I didn't see it for a while. And I was like, all right, that bird's gone. But I stayed outside, I kept whistling, and I kept shaking the can, and then here it comes, right over the house. And then it turned back, right over the house. And then it landed on my neighbor's roof, right next door, right on the peak. And it was looking at me, and I was like, all right, this bird is in some control. It knows where we are. We just got to get it comfortable enough to land. So I'm whistling, and I'm shaking the can, and it comes running down my neighbor's roof. And then it flew from my neighbor's roof, and it landed on my breeding loft right there that I showed you guys. And he's just looking at me, and I'm whistling, and I got the can with the peanuts, and I bent down, and I had some peanuts in my hand, and he flew down off my breeding loft onto the floor, which I got in that video. And he walked around, and he looked at the landing platform, and then he flew up onto the roof of his loft. And he's just looking at me, and then he flew and he landed on the railing on my deck. And then from there, he landed on the carrying crate on the table, and he's just looking at me and looking at me. And I'm like, come on, you know what to do, let's go. So I went into the loft, and I got one of the droppers, one of the tail owls, and I walked back out, and I lightly tossed the tail owl onto the landing platform, and the blue check flew right over, landed on the landing platform, where I put a couple peanuts down. It ate the peanuts, and then it went right through the trap door like it was no big deal. The bird didn't seem nervous. It didn't seem like it was fazed by anything that happened. So that bird, it was in control. And now I'm going to be less concerned about that bird today, because that bird experienced a week's worth of experiences in an hour and handled it fine. I mean, it really was raring to go, and it was definitely seemed in control of what it was doing. And that was one of the birds I was really excited about once I weaned them and I moved it over here. That bird had some nice vitality. It had a lot of strength. It was alert. It was learning everything really fast, like trapping, and it was one of the first birds to learn coming through the trap door to eat, and doing it consistently every day. Some of the other birds, would come through fast one day and then be hesitant the next day. And, we did that back and forth for a few days until they all started just coming through. But that one was always either first or second through the trap door every day. And yesterday it flew well. But like I said, I'm encouraged by that one. I'm going to be less concerned about that one today. If I go do this again and that one decides to go flying, I'm not going to be as nervous. That bird knows how to get back now. It's seen. I'm telling you, it saw my whole neighborhood. It probably did a quarter of a mile diameter around my house yesterday in the course of an hour. That bird went everywhere. So, and the other 5, they responded well. They went right from the table to the landing platform, and they came right in to eat. So their homing instinct is pretty good. They did everything well. And again, today should go better. I'm not expecting them all to just land and come in. I think after yesterday, they might go and land on the roof of the loft and walk around a little bit, and that's okay. Today is not going to be as panicky. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was very anxious. I was under control, but inside I was panicking. I was like a duck you see on the surface of a pond. Looks nice and calm, but underneath the feet are kicking 1,000 miles an hour. That was me on the inside yesterday, and I'm learning. The birds are learning, so it's all good things at the end of the day. It's never fun to lose a bird. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to, but it's part of the process. I mean, I wouldn't be human if I felt nothing about this blue bar being missing. That was the first bird that I hatched myself. So, it's disappointing. I'm a little upset that I lost it. I really like that bird, and I hope it comes back. I hope it finds its way home today. And maybe it will when the other birds are out. Maybe it's close by and it's just watching, and when it sees the other birds, it'll decide to come back in. But all right, I will definitely hit record today and get some of this on video a little better. Yesterday I set it up on the tripod. I didn't hit record, but we'll get this going, and hopefully it goes well. Okay. Their wings are clipped. Yeah. That was pretty smooth. Well, all right, so it went pretty well today. I moved the table a little further away, opened it up, and they flew right over, came right in. Really wasn't any hesitation, especially out of the blue check right there with the white flights. That's the one that went all over the neighborhood yesterday. Was the first one to jump and land. And yeah, I knew that one was gonna have the most confidence after yesterday, but pleasantly surprised with everybody. So tomorrow I'll move the table back a little further and hopefully it'll go well. And then the next time they're just gonna get let out and they can fly around. So I just wanted to teach them a couple of times in a row how to approach the landing platform, because that's the biggest deal. So if they go for a little fly the fourth time out and they get a little nervous about landing, they should feel comfortable enough landing on this at the very least. But all right, guys, take it easy, and hope you enjoyed the last couple videos.